So Hillary Clinton is the presumptive Democratic nominee, so we're going to charge on in with her as the standard bearer for Democrats, at least. I don't know about progressives, but there are many people who are very excited by that and think she stands an excellent chance of winning. Partly because, of course, her opponent is Donald Trump, but partly because they think she's a terrific candidate. Now, she has more unfavorables than any Democratic candidate in American history. That's a little bit of a negative. And recently, the positive news was that she was not indicted by James Comey. At least he did not recommend an indictment. Of course, the Attorney General decided not to indict technically. But the head of the FBI, Comey, laid out all the things that she had done wrong in the email scandal. And so now when Washington Post and ABC News did a poll online, here are the results we got on this issue. 56% of respondents disapproved of FBI Director James Comey's recommendation not to charge Clinton over use of an unauthorized private server, while only 35% approved. So let's understand this. 56% of the country believes the Democratic nominee should have been indicted by the FBI. This is the favored candidate of the Democratic Party establishment, the one they think is more likely to win. Well played. 56 to 35, the American people think your candidate should have been indicted by the FBI. Ooh, the establishment, they're such geniuses. Now, unsurprisingly, the country's polarized on this. 90% of Republicans said they think Clinton should have been charged, compared to what they say is only 30% of Democrats. Are you kidding me? 30% of her own party believes she should have been indicted by the FBI. Indicted, brought up on criminal federal charges. 30% of your own party thinks that. We better hope that Donald Trump is as bad as everybody thinks he is in terms of bungling this campaign. Because if he doesn't bungle it in record-breaking fashion, which he's in the middle of doing, don't get me wrong, then we're in deep trouble. The country has enormous misgivings about Hillary Clinton. God help us all. All right, now, to be fair, the side that the Clinton supporters will pounce on is, well, 58% say it doesn't make any difference in their vote. You're proud of that? Okay, great. That's more than the majority. I'm happy about that, I guess. But that still leaves a huge chunk of the country that says it will make a difference in their vote. This one issue, which, by the way, is not a policy issue. We're not having a policy fight anymore. You see, if you look at the polling, progressives win almost every policy fight there is. Social Security, Medicare, don't go into any more wars, against the trade deals. You go on and on. Progressives win almost every single issue. But now we've got something else entirely, where we got a giant chunk of the country saying, I might not vote for her based on that alone, which has nothing to do with policy. Well played, Democratic establishment. You guys are a bunch of geniuses. Okay, now let's go to the all-important independents, because they usually, settle the elections. You've got a certain amount of Democrats that are going to vote for the Democrat no matter what. Same with the Republicans. So independents were more split, with 58% saying the issue made no difference for their vote, but 33% said it made them less likely to support Clinton. So a full third of independents saying on this issue alone, I am less likely to support Hillary Clinton. 56% of the country believes she should have been indicted. Okay, what's done is done. And so she's going to be the nominee. And this is not crying over spilled milk. Yes, there's a little bit of, we told you. How many times did I say that indictment's hanging over her head? And everyone's like, oh, no, it's no big deal, it's no big deal. Here, she didn't even get indicted, and still look at the damage that was done. It's no big deal. No. That was your wishful thinking. The reality is, for a lot of the American people, it was a giant deal. Now, we warned you about that, not because it was a cutesy political move, because it was a reality. You go in with a wounded, incredibly weak candidate that is less popular than any other Democratic candidate in history, and you're begging for a disaster. And then that's overconfidence, it's hubris. Let's play with fire. I bet we don't get burned. Let's hope that progressives in this country don't get burned. But right now, I am maybe alone in the media, but I am significantly worried about her chances. If Donald Trump could mount any kind of comeback, she is vulnerable. I wish that weren't the case, but I'm here to deliver the news to you. and the rest of the mainstream media see no evil, hear no evil, especially when it comes to Hillary Clinton and her chances of winning. They might report on a scandal here or there, and in the beginning, when it's in the primaries that it matters most, they'll say it's not important, not important. In the general election, all of a sudden, it's important, and they'll say, wow, this is very important and very concerning, right? But still, to this day, almost everybody else in the media, she's going to win. It's a cakewalk. It's a cakewalk. Well, Donald Trump was just leading a couple of weeks ago. Oh, those polls should be ignored. So now she's winning. Well, should those polls be ignored? No, those polls are locked in. That's it. She's going to win. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm worrying about it. And if you're a rational human being, you should worry about it. These are not good numbers. Okay. And then later they'll say, oh, you should have supported her more. If you carried her water, you could have won. The general election hasn't started yet, okay? It isn't about carrying her goddamn water. It's that her numbers suck. I didn't do that. She did that. And if you voted for her because you were such a goddamn genius and you thought, oh, the establishment candidate will be much better, in a deeply anti-establishment time where there is populist rage in the country, you picked an enormously unpopular candidate which a majority of the country believes should have been indicted. Well played.